Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? Wait till a few of y'all show up in this chat room. Let me know if y'all can hear me. We're gonna talk about this these heavyweight fights coming up this weekend. Wait for a few y'all to join. Gonna talk about this Bryant Jennings, Joey Dawekjo, and Jarrell Miller versus Johan Duhaupas. Wait for a few y'all to join, man. What's good? D.O.B. and Newly, what's good, man? Talk about these heavyweight fights. I said I wasn't going to do a prediction type video until I seen the weigh-in, but my day is going to be kind of, well, it will be busy, so I won't be able to do it, man. So I might have to just do it right now without seeing what these guys weigh in at. Mark Blake, what's up? Arjan Ganapi, what's up? Wait for a few more people to join. Y'all hit that thumbs up. Gonna talk about these two fights really quick, get my quick prediction. Some good fights gonna be coming. You know, I like these two heavyweight fights right here. I really do. Wait for a few more people show up in here. D.O.B. Newly says you're getting me through traffic. That's what's up. Wait for a few more to show up. I'm just going to talk about Lawrence Williams. What's up, man? I told you I was going to drop the video. I'm waiting for a few more people to show up, man. And I'm going to go ahead and break this fight down. I was going to wait till they... I was going to wait until they had the weigh-in, but I'm going to be busy, man. So I ain't going to be able to do a video tonight. Next video I do will probably be a post-fight video. All right, but let me just make this quick, man. Miller versus Duhaupas. Let's start with that one. I wrote a few notes, man, a few talking points, so I won't forget anything. But for the most part, when I break their styles down, Duhaupas, I've seen him. You know, everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. My wife got me this, man. I thought this was a little slick shirt. Mike Tyson. But anyways, when I break down their styles, Miller, we know he wants to come forward, right? He wants to come forward. He wants to put up a high volume. He wants to hit you to the body, rake you to the body. All his punches aren't power punches. They're not punches that are going to try to knock you out. You know, sometimes he places shots where he'll come in there and he'll throw punches, where he's not putting all on it, but he's just trying to throw filler shots to find openings, to make you move your hand, or to make you move your head over here, or tuck your chin over there, or go, you know what I mean? So he can hit you with hard uppercuts, hard left and right hooks, all right? Duhaupas, now I've seen him in fights where he's been aggressive against Deontay Wilder, right? Where he was pressing Deontay Wilder. I've seen him fight Povetkin where he kind of stood his ground, where he wasn't really aggressive, but he stood his ground against Povetkin. I've seen him I've seen Manuel Char be aggressive against him and push him backwards. So you know, he's the type of dude, man, that you know he showed me different types of things, especially when he's fighting taller fighters. Now he will have the 1-inch height advantage on it, at least on paper. He'll have the height advantage in this fight. I've seen him fight Helenius. He was the aggressor. He'll put the high guard up, and he's the aggressor. I've seen him fight Erkin Tepper. Tepper was more the aggressor in that fight. He was actually showing Tepper the left shoulder and kind of fighting in a slick type of style. He did the same thing against Manuel Char as well. So I've seen Duhaupas mix it up. The Povetkin fight, I know people, that's probably the last that they remember of him was getting knocked out by Povetkin. And he took that fight on very short notice. He was actually getting, because he took that fight, I believe it was the first week of December in 2016, and he was getting ready for a end of January fight with Takam. But he seen the opportunity. He literally took the fight on like a day's notice. He wasn't in shape, and that's not Povetkin's fault. You know what I mean? Duhaupas jumped in there to replace Stavern, and he got knocked out. Because to me, he was looking at that fight more of a, you know, if I win this fight type of thing. Not so much him actually winning a fight, but if he wins the fight, the upside would be tremendous for him. That's why I thought he took the opportunity. But to me, man, well, I can't tell him what to do. He probably needed the bread, you know what I mean? But him not getting another month and a half worth of training, it showed. He was out of shape for that fight, and then he got knocked out. In that fight, he was kind of fighting Povetkin on even ground a little bit. He really wasn't the aggressor, really wasn't going backwards. Then, you know, he got caught with his chin up in the air going back. Povetkin hit him with an overhand, put him to sleep. Now, since that fight, he has came back and he's fought 3 journeymen. Goshevili, I watched that fight. He pretty much did what he wanted in these fights, man. Fighting journeyman. Then he fight what's the dude? Orlov. He fought that dude earlier in his career. Then he fought him again. So, you know, he's getting some work against journeyman type fighters. I seen him in the Deontay Wilder training camp as when Wilder was preparing for Luis Ortiz. You know, so to me, it's, you know, it's going to come down to what weight is he going to come in at? Is he going to be close to that 239, you know, 236, 237 type of weight he came in with against Wilder, against Helenius, against Manuel Char. He was between that 235, 240 against those guys. How will he come in? That's why I wanted to look at the weigh-in, but I'm not going to be able to look at it. Well, I will, but it will be after the fact. Then Miller, you know, he wants to come forward. He wants to chop you down. He's had 9 straight stoppage victories, so I know he wants to continue his streak and look impressive. Wach, people wasn't really impressed, but Wach is a tough guy to look excellent against. You know what I mean? Just go look at his fights against Klitschko and Povetkin. It's hard to look great against Mariusz Wach. You know, but he did what he had to do. He chopped him down. He got the stoppage victory. So he's going to put a high work rate, high volume. I expect for him to come in at close to 300 pounds and have a high volume, you know, high work rate. And I think he's going to chop Duhaupas up. It's going to be interesting, though, man. Just like I said, when I watch Duhaupas against taller fighters, he's the aggressor. Guys that are like his height. Cali Enigma was good. Trap House Boxing was good, y'all. You know, when he's fighting taller guys, he kind of put the high guard up, then he comes forward and he's aggressive. Now he's fighting somebody who's right around his height, maybe a little bit shorter. I think Miller's going to do what Manuel Char did against Duhaupas and Erkin Tepper. He elected to go on the back foot against those guys for whatever reason. Cali Enigma says Miller said he's coming in over 300. All right, well, there you go. You know what I mean? That's Jarrell Miller for you, man. For him to have that high work rate like that is kind of mind-boggling in my opinion, man. To carry that much weight and to be, because the dude is nimble on his feet. You know, he is nimble on his feet. People say he's slow. There's not too many super fast heavyweights out there. And some of the guys that have quick hands, some of you guys might not rate those guys high. You know what I mean? So he's a heavyweight, man. So some guys are going to be slow. Some not, you know, some guys are going to be not as fast. You know what I mean? But Duhaupas does have a 4.5-inch reach advantage. But he's really not a keep you on the outside of my jab type of guy. Against lesser competition, he is, but you know, he isn't a guy that's going to work the jab all night and win rounds off of working his jab against the higher competition that he fights. You know what I mean? So Lionel Witherspoon, what's up? He says like Buster Mathis. Which one, junior or senior? Senior was a damn good fighter too. Buster Mathis senior. But anyways, then we got Jennings versus Joey Dawekjo. Okay, you said senior. Yeah, senior has some skills, man. All right, so Joey Dawekjo versus Bryant Jennings. Now, these dudes fought in 2009. For those of you that don't know, it was Bryant Jennings' 3rd amateur fight, and he actually turned pro the first quarter of 2010, like the 2nd month of like February 2010, right? So he fights Joey Dawekjo 2009, his 3rd amateur fight. He only had like 6 or 7 of them. And it was Dawekjo's 68th amateur fight. Dawekjo was a 12-time national champion here in the States. And, you know, Jennings has a 6-inch or 6 year. He's 6 years the senior. You know what I mean? So he's 6 years older. So when he fought him back then, they're both 2 completely different fighters. You know what I mean? So Dawekjo got the win in the amateurs, but they're different fighters now. You know, that was Jennings in his 3rd amateur fight. He's been in the ring with guys like Perez when he was undefeated, Spilka when he was undefeated. Then we know the Klitschko fight and the Luis Ortiz fight. This one Klitschko was still looked at as the man. This one Klitschko was looked at as the man, and Ortiz was the boogeyman. Shit, Ortiz still a bad motherfucker in my opinion, but so then he went inactive. He was inactive. I know he was training with Povetkin, he went out to Russia. Him, Chisora, and Povetkin was working with each other. 78 Sports TV was good, bruh. Appreciate that that interview you did with Deontay Wilder, man. He answered some questions that we all wanted to know. For those of you that haven't seen that that interview or listened to it, go to 78 Sports TV. I'm pretty sure y'all didn't seen it already. If y'all ain't, y'all lacking, man. Go listen to that interview. But anyways, Jennings was out in Russia with Povetkin, with Chisora. I seen him sparring David Haye. I've seen Jennings in a lot of camps, man. He's came back. He's fought Daniel Martz, Don Hainsworth, and he fought what's the other dude he fought? Jarrell Miller fought this dude too. So did Jermaine Franklin. Akir Mirlamov, he fought that guy. So he's been busy the last little, this past year, but against journeyman type of fighters. You know what I mean? So, but it's better than nothing. It's better than just sitting out completely. You know what I mean? But one thing I've noticed about his comeback fights is he's been more closer to 230, whereas when he began his career, he was more, 222 to 227. Not that that really means much, but it lets me know that he is getting a little bit heavier as he ages, which you would think. You know what I mean? But he's not fat or out of shape or nothing, but I just noticed that about his weight since he's came back. Jennings, man, when I watch Bryant Jennings fight, man, it always, it just stands out to me that he has an 84-inch reach, but he puts up the high guard and he wants to come forward. It makes for a great entertaining fights for us, but it's like 84 inches and you just going straight high guard, and then he'll pump the jab out the high guard. But I think he needs to work that jab, man. He really, I've been saying this for a while too, man. Even in the Klitschko fight, he actually won some rounds. The judges gave him some rounds in that fight, man, and he was walking Klitschko down in that fight. He's been in wars, exciting fights with Spilka, the Perez fight, and that's what I'm thinking Dawekjo should try to mimic is some of what Perez was doing to Jennings. Kind of pot shot from the outside. And Dawekjo's the type of dude, you look at his body type, he's 5'10", 70-inch reach. He's like 245, 50 pounds. His body type doesn't fit his style, if that makes sense, right? You look at him, you think, oh, he's a come forward, wants to get on the inside and slug. No, he's not. He's on the outside, takes his time. That's how that's where the amateur pedigree comes in. Like if you go watch the Mir Mansour fight, he's pecking away, trying to lure Mansour into traps. Mansour's doing the same thing. But he didn't come out raging out the corner, trying to, throw overhand rights, overhand lefts. No, he's a thinker in the ring. But you look at his body type, you wouldn't believe that about him. The only fight I've seen him get really dominated, and he's a guy that's fought Derek Rossi, Jarrell Miller. He actually had a draw with Jarrell Miller, but I've never seen that. I've never seen the fight. Miller told me that he really won the fight, but then I've seen people on Dawekjo's team say that he really won the fight. So it was a draw. You're going to get that from both sides, right? Charles Martin's the only fight I've seen him get dominated. And in that fight, it looked like he was, for one, gassing, and two, Martin just looked on that night. He was in and out. He was sneaking in straight left hands to the body. He threw a right hook that dropped Dawekjo. Dawekjo just looked more winded and gassed in that fight, man. Probably had a lot to do with his training camp. I'm not sure what his training camp was like. And it had a lot to do with Charles Martin standing in front of him, too. You know what I mean? Regardless of what Dawekjo would say about that fight. But that's one time I seen him dominated, man. I just think the style threw him off. Charles Martin's size and his reach. The dude only has Dawekjo only has a 70-inch reach, man. So Jennings going to have a 14-inch reach advantage. That sounds crazy, right? 14 inches? That sound like Mike Tyson versus Tony Tucker or some shit. You know what I mean? It just sounds crazy. So, man, I'm gonna go with Jennings because I think he's the, if you guys are asking me who's the more well-conditioned athlete, I would say Jennings. Who has the better skills? Joey Dawekjo? You know what I'm saying? Like, he has the better skill set, in my opinion. Now, Jennings has worked on his skill set. He's gotten much better, but I think he's the better fighter at this stage. Antonio McCray was good. What's good to everybody that joined, man? It's good to all y'all. Appreciate 78 Sports with that super chat. But yeah, man, I'm trying to read through the comments real quick. But I'm gonna go with Bryant Jennings in that fight. It's gonna be interesting to see how these guys approach each other in the first few rounds. And like I said, Dawekjo's not gonna come out and try to create a war. I don't think he is. And I wore the Philly hat just for this video because it's although both guys saying it's not a Philly versus Philly thing, but yeah, I guess, man. But there is gonna be some bragging rights though. You know what I mean? Especially when y'all some hometown fighters, man. There's gonna be some type of bragging rights. You know what I'm saying? Santos was good. Rashawn Williams was good, man. So yeah, man, I'm gonna go with Bryant Jennings by decision, but it's gonna be competitive. If you guys haven't heard of Dawekjo, just go watch a few of his fights. Watch the Mansour fight. He beat Derek Rossi. If you want to see one of his losses, he's lost to Martin. He has, he has a lot of draws. He has like 4 draws, 4 losses, and he has the 1 stoppage loss to Martin. He's not going to be intimidated of Bryant Jennings. And Jennings, this dude's fought, he's fought Klitschko, he's fought Ortiz. So he's not going to be intimidated, none whatsoever. Actual Facts Boxing, Angel Santos, appreciate the super chat, my man. Appreciate that. But he's not going to be, they're both not going to be intimidated of each other. They have some history, although that history was damn near going on 10 years ago. It was in the amateurs. Hop was good, man. See you in the chat. Yeah, I'm very happy these days, man. You hear that? You hear that? That's quiet. I love hearing that. They're kids at school, chilling right now. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, some good fights this weekend, though. I'm going with Jennings, and I'm going to go with Jarrell Miller. So let me read a few of the comments from y'all, man. Let me know what y'all think. But that's as much as I can browse. I have some little talking points, but that's really much what I've seen from their styles, man. Breaking down all these guys. I really don't even need these talking points because I know who all these guys pretty much fought and what they look like in those fights. Yeah, Dawekjo, man, a lot of draws. Even Yalto Pereira was a draw. Now, some of you may say, who the fuck is that? Pereira was an Olympian. He beat Dominic Brazil to qualify for the Olympics in 2012. And he actually beat Simon Keane. Simon Keane is an undefeated Canadian prospect who's one of the better heavyweight prospects right now that's up and coming. So Pereira is a guy, he's a small heavyweight like Dawekjo. And, Dawekjo just have these draws and he'll have a few wins. He beat Derek Rossi, then he had a draw with Miller. You don't know what you're going to get with Dawekjo, man. You don't know what you're going to get. But if Jennings try to stay on the outside, even if he is using his jab, Dawekjo is good enough to where he can counter over that jab. But he's going to be giving up a lot in reach, though, man. But he does have the ability, does have the skill to counter Jennings' jab. And if they get on the inside, got to watch out for the headbutts because he will, fight a rough fight on the inside. He couldn't do it with Charles Martin, but when he did it with Mansour, they were clashing heads. They both got cuts because I believe, yeah, Mansour received a cut in a round. And then there was another round where Dawekjo received a cut. They were both headbutting each other. Probably had a lot to do with Southpaw versus Orthodox too, though. But St. Cruising was good, man. Unity Boxing was good. He said Jennings, Unity Boxing says Jennings been going for a while. Well, he's been back, just not against nobody formidable. He's fought the Daniel Marks of the world. He's had 3 fights. He made his return from his long layoff when he fought Ortiz. He made his return. Remember, he made his return last August on that Crawford and Ndongo card when Crawford and Ndongo fought for Undisputed, and everybody's saying that Undisputed is hard to do. Crawford and Ndongo did it, you know what I mean? But yeah, he made his return on that card. That was the same card that Dillian White came to the States and made his splash in America. Who the fuck did Dillian White fight? Oh, Malcolm Showstopper Tan. That's who he fought when he came and made his splash in the States. And he fought in front of like 7 people out there in Lincoln, Nebraska. On that fight card, man, they should have had Jennings versus Dillian White. That shit made no sense to me. At all. And it wasn't even a splash. The shit was like a drip. Nobody even seen the fight. Ray Zone 718 was good, man. Hop says, Will we see Charles Martin in the future? Joking aside, he definitely has some upside. I like to see him get serious. I'll forgive his former embarrassment. Yeah, he's another guy, man. These guys have been coming back. Charles Martin, I believe, has 2 comeback fights that he's had against Journeyman. I did a post-fight review on one of them, and then he fought somebody else, I believe, but he hasn't fought nobody formidable. I'm waiting for him to step up and take on a name now, dude. Like, how many comeback fights do you need? Well, I guess until you feel ready, right? Will Magic Man was good. Nathan says Miller late stoppage, I think. Could be. Could be. He might wear him out. Might accumulation. Wear him out. Put them gloves on his ass. And like I said, it ain't gonna be all power shots. He gonna play shots here and there. He gonna he's gonna come in with them awkward punches, head movement. He might give you the shoulder. He might sit there and try to dodge a few punches and get on the back foot for a step or two and then come back in on you. And you know how Miller likes to get down. I'm just curious to see how Duhaupas, what his approach is going to be. Is he going to be ultra aggressive as far as putting the high guard up and coming forward like he did against Helenius, like he did against Deontay Wilder? Or is he going to come in and let Miller take the lead like he did against Erkin Tepper and Manuel Char? Unity Boxing says Miller might not stop Duhaupas. I just don't see it. Miller has a nice work rate, but not a lot of snap. Yeah, he isn't, and it's crazy that we say that, right? Because he's 20-0 with the draw against Dawekjo, and he has 18 knockouts, stoppages. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I don't see him having like this one punch crazy power, although he's had some fights where he has looked impressive with his power, although against lesser opposition, like when he fought Donovan Dennis. Dennis was actually a good amateur, though. But when he fought Donovan Dennis, and Donovan Dennis was in Deontay Wilder's training camp for Luis Ortiz. Dennis is a southpaw. But in that fight, though, Miller looked vicious in that fight. He looked vicious, man. I thought he was going to knock Donovan Dennis' head off. That was a nasty knockout. Unity Boxer says, Izzu will be a champion. I know it. Izzu's coming back. Is he fighting Fred Cassie? Because somebody was asking me, hey, man, you should do it. I think he's fighting Cassie. Yeah, Nathan says Izzu versus Cassie, decent comeback fight. Yeah. Speaking of Miller, Miller stopped Cassie. And Cassie was a guy, when he fought Areola, I thought he won that fight. You know what I mean? There was it Brazil that he fought that I thought he beat Brazil. There was 2 fights he had on TV where I was scratching my chin like, damn, I think Cassie pulled the motherfucking fights off. Man, Sword put Cassie to sleep, though. That was nasty. That was nasty. But yeah, Izzu's going to have to deal with, you know how Cassie likes to fight, man. He switches from lefty to righty all fight. All fight. Whether he's getting out, whether he's winning, losing, he just does it. That's just his style. So I'm curious to see how Izzu fares against that. But I'm expecting Izzu to win that fight, though. Hop says that quote on your t-shirt has become one of the most famous in boxing. Yeah, man. My wife was like, I ordered you a shirt. I'm like, man, you trying to dress me? You know, she's like, nah, I like the shirt and shit. So when it showed up, she didn't tell me. I opened it. I was like, oh, hell yeah, I love this shirt. Lawrence Williams says, would you say Dawekjo is a fight for Jennings to get ready for Andy Ruiz style? I think Andy is way more aggressive than Joey, though. Joey, like, Ruiz wants to come and bang with you. You know what I mean? Like, he wants to come in there and bang with you. There's no debating about it, or you're not really sure what he's doing. From the fights I've seen with Andy, he comes to bang. He comes to bang. Whereas Joey, if you're looking at their height and things like that, the height's the same, the build's the same, right? But I think their fighting style is totally different, man. Joey's more, he likes to think in there. Not to say that Andy is a dummy in the ring, but he's more high guard, tough chin kid, want to come forward, going to pump out the jab. He's trying to get close. Whereas Joey, on the outside a little bit, try to make you miss, counter you real fast with overhand rights and overhand left hooks. More of a technician. Like I say, his style doesn't fit his body type, in my opinion, if that makes sense to y'all. Wasatier 88, I believe that's your name. He says Andrew Ruiz versus Adam Konowski. That's a war. Sign me up for that. Sign me up. Ruiz versus Konowski, sign me up. I'm going to go with Ruiz in that one, though, but sign me up. That's another thing I want to bring up, because I just thought of Ruiz and Konowski, and Konowski's a damn good body puncher, is Miller is going to, I'm curious to see how he goes after Duhaupas' body. Because I've heard Miller praise himself as having the highest work rate in the heavyweight division, and he's the self-proclaimed best body puncher in the division. Konowski, his homeboy, because you know they homeboys, Konowski and Miller, they grew up together in Brooklyn. I've heard Miller say they're that's his brother from another mother. They sparred hundreds of rounds with each other. Them dudes grew up since kids up in Brooklyn, man. Sparring in Gleason's and all over Brooklyn. But anyways, Miller's self-proclaimed the best body puncher in the division, you know, so. Plus Ruiz has the hand speed advantage. It'd be a good fight with Konowski, but I think he beats him. I think he beats him. St. Cruz says Ruiz is underrated because of his looks. Yeah. Yeah, and that fight with Parker, man, you know, Parker had, there's a few fights where I thought Parker won 7-5. The Fury fight, I had him winning 6-5-1, 7, no, I'm sorry, yeah, 6-5-1, maybe 7-5 against Fury. I had him beating Takam 7-5. I had him beating Ruiz 6-5-1 or 7-5. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, yeah, Ruiz, man, that was a debatable fight with Parker. And you know, like I was being asked in the comment section here, do I think that that Jennings and Dawekjo is preparing him for Ruiz? The fight should be easy to make. Both of those guys are with Top Rank. That should be an easy fight for Arum to put together, man. Even Parker, because from my knowledge, I believe that Joseph Parker is still being co-promoted by Top Rank. Parker, Jennings, Ruiz. A Parker-Ruiz rematch would be great. I'd love to see that fight. You know, but yeah, Jennings versus Ruiz would be a good fight. Especially since Jennings just puts up the high guard and wants to come forward anyways. Nathan says Caballel is underrated too, in my opinion. Yes, I believe Ajay Caballel is underrated, man. He's a guy that I think he had like 5 or 6 amateur fights, turned pro at 18, been learning ever since. He's up to what, 17-0, 16-0, I forget off the top of my head, something like that. He beat Derek Chisora. He just beat the hell out of Rav Cannon. I thought he'll beat him, but I didn't think he'll look that impressive, and I think he'll be that aggressive against him. Yeah, I think he's underrated. Now, is he going to be world champion? He's up against it. You know what I mean? I don't know about that, but could he give guys a run? Like if there's a fight made between Jarrell Miller and Caballel, that's a tough fight. I'll favor Miller. Tough fight though. Against any of the guys that I was just talking about, Ruiz, Dillian White. From right now, from what I see from Caballel, it's a good fight based on he can move. He's a compact built guy. He's, you know, 6'3", 240-ish, somewhere around there. Compact guy. Seems as if he can take a punch. He can circle. He can box a little bit. He can be aggressive. You know, so he can mix it up. And that, to me, that's impressive, man, for a guy that's pretty much learning on the job. You know, he's pretty much learning on the job, man, in my opinion. Let me see here, read a few more comments. Nathan says, Huey Fury versus Sam Sexton. I'm going to go with Fury in that fight. Sexton just beat Cornish. Didn't he just beat Gary Cornish? But I'm going to go with Fury in that fight. And if you're a guy that wants to see boxing, just some outboxer type stuff, that's going to be a fight that you'll want to see. I'm going to break down that fight too. Red Glove Militant. What's good, man? Ain't seen you in a minute, man. He says, I want to stomp on your kid. Talk about Mike Tyson. I want to stomp on your kids' testicles so they can feel the pain I feel. Hey, man, was that the? Did he say that after the Holyfield fight? Mike has a lot of quotables, man. Hop says, here's my favorite Mike Tyson quote. No one at 160 ever hit harder than Tommy Hearns. He could knock out. Yeah, I remember him saying that. Trap House Boxing says Cabello versus Parker. That's a good fight. Good fight. And I know a lot of fans that really don't know the Cabello dude. Like, what the hell is this guy? They'll probably think, man, Parker would kill him. To me, I think it's an interesting fight, man. I really think that kid is underrated. Nathan says Joyce Thomas got Joyce stoppage, maybe 8 rounds. I'm going to go with Joyce. You know, Linroy is a guy, southpaw. He'll give you the shoulder. He'll go against the ropes, try to fight you against the ropes. Durable, tricky. He's another guy that was ironically, in Wilder's training camp when he was preparing for Luis Ortiz. Obviously, he's a southpaw. But I see Joyce with his experience, although he only has, a couple pro fights, but he's an experienced fighter from the amateurs, won the silver. He sparred some of everybody. You know, Brazil, Stavern, Joshua. He's sparred some of every damn body, man. He's big. He's durable. He isn't the fastest guy. He's fought Usyk in the World Series of Boxing. And the World Series of Boxing is damn near, I mean, they ain't got no headgear in there, man. You know, it's damn near like pros. You know what I mean? But I see Joyce winning that fight. I see him using his size, using his strength. And I think Thomas will give him opportunities because Thomas will go into a shell sometimes. Although he's on D and it looks good, and then he's avoiding shots and he's coming back with single shots. I think Joyce will just put it on him, especially when he gets him against the ropes. I think he's just too powerful, just too big for him. Yes, Wasser Tears 88 says Joyce sparred Brazil. Yeah, when he came to America, he sparred Stavern and Brazil. Yep, I actually did videos on that. This was last year. If you go on his Instagram, he actually took pictures. But yeah, he went down to he sparred them both. I want to say he sparred Stavern at the Heavyweight Factory. But yeah, he was over here in the States kicking it, man. And or did he spar him in Vegas? One of the two. He sparred Brazil too, Nathan. He sparred them both. Because I remember he sparred them within a week of each other. Because I remember thinking like, damn, he getting some good work while he's over here in America. Hop says, I think Joshua versus Ortiz will be compelling. What do you think? I don't ever expect it to happen, of course. Too risky for AJ. Too little reward. Yeah, you know, Ortiz is back in that seat now, man. Well, shit, no, the WBC ordered... WBC just ordered him and Dillian White, so I can't say that Ortiz is back in the position of nobody will fight him and he might not ever get a title shot or have the opportunity to get a title shot. He has an opportunity to get one if he, if White goes through with that fight, because White, like I said, he has he has options, man. He can go the IBF route and he can fight Pulev for the mandatory position, or he can go the WBC route and he can fight Luis Ortiz, so. But Luis Ortiz versus Joshua, though, it all depends how AJ, because AJ to me doesn't move his head quick enough. Yes, I know he puts up the high guard. He's a slip type of guy. He isn't as I say, he's not a Pernell Whitaker. He's not going to drop his hands, bend at the waist, give you all these little herky-jerky. He doesn't do that. He's take a half step back or a full step back, counter you really quick. His offense is his defense. And he'll slip or he'll parry your shot. He might parry your jab and he'll come back with a straight right hand. He's that type of that's his defense. His head's right there though. And Ortiz, that's all he needs is just that's all he needs is just a split second to catch you, man. He's an excellent counter puncher. So to me is, can AJ, or how will AJ handle getting countered? You know what I mean? Will it start to phase him? Will he find a way to adapt to it? It all depends. If he can take away Ortiz counters, then he has a good chance of winning that fight. But if he can't take away them counters, or he doesn't know how to deal with it, or he gets rocked, or he gets hurt, or who knows what would have happened, man. But I think it's a good fight. I always thought that was a good fight. Will Magic Man says Ortiz still a nightmare for most of them. Yeah, I agree. Nathan says Nathan Gorman and Daniel Dubois, two good talents. Two, Tom Little was turned down for Gorman. Yeah, I like Nathan Gorman. Damn good body puncher. You know, he's ironically he's being trained by Ricky Hitman Hatton. You know who you didn't have to tell him twice to go to the body. Gorman, he has good technique, good fundamentals. Seems like a steady fighter. Dubois seems like a powerhouse, but he's another guy where I want to see him develop because to me he's not moving his head enough. Now, like I keep saying, you don't have to be a defensive wizard when I say he doesn't move his head enough, but he just seems too upright. But if he can keep dominating, and I think he needs to learn how to dominate off his jab, because sometimes your defense, this might sound strange, well, your defense can be your offense, but your jab mainly can just keep people at bay. You know what I mean? Like Lennox Lewis, man, I'm just keep you out here with this damn jab. I can see everything coming. You're going to have to deal with my jab. You know, but Dubois seems more like a powerhouse. He doesn't really seem like I'm going to work this whole round just using my jab. I'm going to just I'm going to bust you up with this jab. And you don't have to be fighting off the back foot, pity pat jab. And you can do the Sonny Liston thing where you're, throwing hard jabs, hard lead jabs. But he seems like a powerhouse. I want to see him just move his head a little bit more, man. Because sometimes as fans, we look at just the knockouts and the offensive things, and it's like, damn, but you got to move that head, though, man. Because you're going to get hit back. This ain't just going to be all downhill. You know what I mean? You're going to get hit back. How are you going to react? Are you going to get up? Or, if you fall, are you going to get up? If you're starting to get countered and you're not moving your head, will you fall apart? Hop says, will HBO ever recover from its boxing glory and position? I don't know, man. Right now, Showtime is kicking their ass. Wasatier 88 says, have you any idea who will be Fury's comeback opponent? I heard him. Damn, what name did I hear? I heard a name. I forgot who, man. Maybe somebody will leave it in the comment section. But I heard a name, though. But I forget. Nathan says, I'm nearly as big as him, though. I'm not sure who you're talking about. Oh, yeah, okay. Will Magic says, Nathan, are you Gorman? Okay, so Nathan. Okay, I get it. Trap House Boxing, my bad, Trap House. Dempsey, Jack Dempsey. Yeah, Sefer Safiri, that's who it was. And I think Safiri was like undefeated at one point. I think was he a cruiserweight? Trap House, what you know about Jack Dempsey, man? I'm just fucking with you, man. I know you know all about Jack Dempsey. He was an exciting fighter for his time, man. Didn't defend that title as much as I thought he should have, but exciting fighter for his time. Wasn't he the first fighter to have $1 million to get paid $1 million? Jack Dempsey, or am I thinking? Yeah, was it Jack Dempsey? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Jack Dempsey was the first one to get $1 million purse. Trap says, I know a little something about Jack. I know you do, man. Wasir 88 says he lost a decision against Manuel Char, but he won some rounds. Okay, and yeah, he was a cruiser. Yep. Okay, so yeah, I've heard of his name. Y'all know me, man. I hear all these little obscure dudes that a lot of people be like, who the hell is that dude? So yeah, y'all, I'm gonna get my day going, man. But I wanted to drop this on y'all, man, because a few of y'all were asking me about my opinion about these two fights, and I just want to get my quick opinion. I was gonna wait till after the weigh-in, but their styles are pretty much set in stone. I seen an interview with Dawekjo. He looked actually trim. for him. You know what I mean? We know Jennings. We know what type of shape he's going to come in. Miller, who knows? He might come in at 290. He might come in at 310. You know what I mean? But expect him to have a high work rate. Duhaupas, I am concerned about his weight, though, because if he comes in looking like Povetkin, he's going to get stopped early. If he comes in 240-ish, you know, like that 237 to 243 type of weight, I expect it to be good. How much is left of him since that Povetkin stoppage? He's only been stopped twice. You know, not like he's some, you know, it's not like he's Glass Joe. You know what I mean? Shit, Wilder, and that was the ref stepped in, and he busted Wilder's eyes up, you know, but Wilder won that fight. But shit, you know, he was licking Wilder too, you know what I mean? Povetkin put him to sleep, though, but that was due to just bad conditioning and due to getting hit in the face, too, but bad conditioning, too, though, man. Wasseteer says, does Jeff Mayweather still work as a trainer? He's pretty good for heavyweights. Jeff. I see Jeff in the Mayweather gym all the time. I'm not sure who he's working with right now. I'm not sure who Jeff is working with right now. Answer a few more. I'm going to get off. Lionel Witherspoon says, Dempsey didn't fight Harry Wills. I got no respect for him. Harry Wills, man, was he about 6'2", 6'3", something like that? He was a tall heavyweight for his time. But you know how it was back in them days, man. Like, a lot of them guys didn't get their shot. Even when the great Jack Johnson got the title, he wasn't even trying to give brothers a shot, man. You know what I mean? Because a lot of them guys he had fought before he became, and I know you know this, but a lot of those guys he fought before he came champ. So he was like, shit, man, I ain't giving y'all a shot either. You know what I mean? I might fuck around and lose to one of y'all. You know, but Wills was a damn good fighter, man. Trap House says, what do you think about Filip Hrgović? Before the 2016 games, Filip was my favorite going into the Olympics. I picked him to win the gold. I thought he beat Tony Yoka in the Olympics. Hrgović, you know, his first two fights or his first couple fights as pro, he looked good, did what he had to do. He fights in that Klitschko-esque type of style where he fights with his hands down a little bit. You know, he has like a heavy lead hand, as I call it, where he likes to hook with his left hand because he fights orthodox, so he likes to hook with it, hard hooks. He likes to peck away with the jab, find a home for the right hand. I actually have a video that I made in 2015. The name of it was Filip Hrgović, the next great heavyweight, ? So I've been looking at Filip for a while, man. For a while. Trap House says, I like Filip. Me too. Lawrence Williams says, I remember Jeff had Sultan and Bragomov back in the day. He did? Damn. I remember when Bragomov fought Holyfield, man. You remember that fight? I know y'all remember that fight when he fought Evander. Then Klitschko said, come here, man. Give me that damn title. Fanon, what's good, man? Fanon International Boxing. What's good, bro? Appreciate that super chat too, my man. Trap House says, plus he's busy, but I do think he'll be one of the best. Oh, you talking about Filip. Yeah, Filip has, you know, Hrgović has a chance, man. He really does. He has a chance to carve out a decent career. You know, man, with these prospects that I cover, man, or that we all cover, not just me, but that we all look at and cover, it comes down to how well can they take a punch. You know what I mean? Not so much that I want them to get in the ring and say, here, hit me so I can see how well I take a punch. But just when they start moving up in competition and they, you know, because it's not going to just be all downhill. You know what I mean? You're going to get in there with people that can take your best punch. You're going to get in there with people that's going to hit you back or push you in your ass. You know, look at Deontay Wilder. He got in there with Stavern in the first fight, and Stavern was able to go the whole 12. He couldn't. Then he fought him again and knocked him out in the first round. Folded him like a damn lawn chair. But shit, look what happened with AJ. He had all stoppage. Whether you want to say some of them were kind of quick, but stoppage victories, KO victories, right? Then he goes in there with Parker. Parker's no pushover, though, but he goes in there with Parker, and he didn't come close to getting him out of there. You know what I mean? So, to me, it's just, I'm curious to see what Herkovich looks like when things aren't going his way in the pros. And if he handles it and he has a extra layer to his skill set to where he can handle that, and I think he can, because in the World Series of Boxing, I've seen him handle adversity well. So, you know, we'll see, man. That whole class of the 2016 Olympic guys, that's a good class, man. You got Herkovich, you got Yoka, you got Joyce, and then you got Ivan Daichko. You know, so that's a good class right there. Yeah, Trap House Boxing says he's not the biggest power puncher, but he has consistent pop. He does. He does. Will Magic Man says, I'm going to keep an eye on Philippe. He even looks a bit like Klitschko. Yeah, he fights in that Klitschko type of style. I wish I could stand up and show you, but y'all know how the Klitschko's fight. More of a, well, kind of a mixture of both Vitali and Vladimir. Vitali was a bad dude, man. He doesn't get enough credit, yo. Like, he doesn't get enough credit. I know his brother has more, his stats are better, right? But fighter for fighter, man, if I between the brothers, as we say, if you needed somebody to go in the foxhole with you and you know, for war, I'm picking Vitali. I'm picking Vitali all day. Lawrence Williams says, I was watching the Mercer versus Witherspoon fight earlier. That was a good-ass fight. You damn right it was a good-ass fight. That fight was on the undercard of Riddick Bowe Galata 2. Why do I know shit like this? But yeah, that was a good fight, man. Damn good fight. I thought Witherspoon and Mercer, they have, when both guys were having their success, I thought the other guy just wasn't doing enough. You know what I mean? Witherspoon just took breaks in that fight, man. He took break. I actually broke that fight down too. I actually did a old school fight review on that fight. But yeah, Tim, he got bigger in the 90s. You know what I mean? He started to weigh a little bit more. You know who remind me of Tim now is Jarrell Miller. He even damn near looks like him too. Jarrell Miller fights like the 90s version of Tim Witherspoon, in my opinion. Spoon was a damn good fighter, man. I thought he beat Larry Holmes, man. And Holmes is my guy. I thought he beat Larry, man. I thought he beat Larry. Larry was giving all them young cats chances, man. When they were undefeated too. What did he fight David Bay when he was undefeated? Snipes, Spoon, was Carl Williams undefeated when he fought? I don't know if Carl Williams was undefeated when he fought Larry. Man, yo, Larry gave a lot of undefeated guys chances, man. That's what Vladimir did. I'll give Vladimir his credit because he started to do that type of shit too. I know he gave Fury and he lost to Fury. He gave Fury the chance. Joshua, Pulev, Jennings. I believe Francisco Pianata was undefeated. Samuel Peter was undefeated. Vladimir fought a lot of undefeated guys too. That's one thing some fighters don't get enough credit for. When you're giving these up and coming undefeated guys chances, man. You can say, oh, he's inexperienced or he doesn't. Yeah, but they're undefeated. They don't know how to lose. They don't know no better. They don't know how to lose yet. So you're gonna have to show them. You know what I mean? And a lot of dudes ain't giving undefeated dudes no shots like that. Now you gotta lose first. You know what I mean? Or come close to losing, or look like you lost the fight or some shit. I'm not gonna give you the shot. Lionel Witherspoon says Miller has no overhand right. Oh, you talking about me comparing them to Spoon? They got some similarities. I don't know if you're talking about that though, but to me they got some similarities. Trap House Boxer says Klitschko, Kovalev, his style remind me of theirs. I'll read a few more y'all, then I'm gonna bounce off, man. Ronnie Emerson says, I watched them both fights. I think them two fights messed up Bo's brain. He took so many blows to the head and nuts. I was going to say, like, shit, fucked up his nuts, I would think. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, but all jokes aside, them fights, they took a lot out of him. But even in that third Holyfield fight, he just didn't look the same. Even in that one, he looked a little bit slower. His speech was kind of but he has some good, you know what, speaking of Bo, I watched Cooper versus Bo the other day, man, or actually yesterday, and Cooper smoking Burt Cooper tried to come out there and punk Riddick Bowe, man. You know, when they come face to face, the ref, you know, get him in the center of the ring. He tried to, when they were supposed to tap gloves, Cooper punched him like in his chest, and then the ref was like, no, come back, touch gloves. And then Bo came back and jabs his ass in his chest. I was like, man, look at old smoking Burt Cooper trying to punk Riddick, man. And Riddick had a good fight against Tony Tucker, man, that I never hear people talk about. Tucker was that was a good fight. Tony Tucker gave him, no, it wasn't Tucker, it was Tony Tubbs. I'm sorry, it was Tony Tubbs. Tubbs has some quick ass hands, man. A lot of those guys from the 80s, man, you know, they get looked at as they wasn't that good or they were nobodies, man. Them dudes can fucking fight, man. They were coming after that 70s era where a lot of those guys were coming in trying to be Ali. Damn near everybody was trying to fight like Ali, man. Holmes, who became all-time great, but shit, even Larry Holmes and even some of the younger guys of that early 80s going into the mid 80s, James Quick Tillis, Tyrell Biggs, Greg Page, who tried to be a damn carbon copy of Ali. Dokes wasn't trying to be Ali, but he had quick hands. He actually sparred Ali. List goes on, man. But guys were kind of trying to mimic Ali a lot in those days, going into those early to mid 80s, and shit, rightfully so. It's the greatest of all times. He's the greatest to me. Not because he said it. I broke that down. I'm not even going to go over that. But Ali, Foreman, and Holmes, nobody's better than them guys. Nobody. We don't even have to debate. Them the best fighters of all time, in my opinion. All right, man. Y'all gonna keep bringing up fights and old fights, and I'll keep talking forever, man. Cooper versus Moore was a war. You damn right it was a war. Knockdowns. That was a damn good fight. That's a classic. I actually broke down. I did a classic fight review on that one too. But hell yeah, man, that was a war. Cooper was in some exciting fights, man. He was in some exciting fights. And Moore had heart. You know, Moore had heart too, man. Moore had heart. And he was very heavy-handed. He went to war with Holyfield in that second fight. You know, he went to war with Holyfield. He was dominating Foreman. Tua put him to sleep, though. But yeah, Moore and Cooper was a damn good fight. Coop wasn't trying to. Hey, Coop didn't try to go to war with Big George though. He didn't want none of that. Or was that Kwawi that fought Big George? I forget that one. Somebody leave in the comments section, man. Did Coop fight Big George, or is that Kwawi? Both. They both fought him, okay. And yeah, didn't Cooper shy away from a slugfest? I know Kwawi did. Hop says Jane Quick Tillis very respectable fight against Prime Mike Tyson. Yeah, man, people forget, man, that, you know, Quick Tillis was a guy who was a 20-0 prospect or 20-0 contender. I believe he was 20-0 with 16 knockouts when he fought Mike Weaver for the title. Went full 15 rounds with him. You know, once upon a time, he was a guy that was looked at as, hey, man, he might be a champion, you know. Cooper quit, okay. All right, man, y'all can keep bringing up fights, and I'm going to just keep talking, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all showing up. Now, let me not read no more comments, because y'all gonna keep talking about fights, trying to lure me in, talk about them old school fights. But I appreciate y'all showing up, though, man. I'm going to get it with y'all later, all right? Peace out, y'all.